me.
B-grade punk rock, street trash, Wastelands. And here are your hosts, long-time partners in slime, Adam Obscene and Mark.
Hello. Oh, hello world. That was very interesting.
World.
It was like an echo chamber.
Woo!
Hey everyone, I'm Adam Obscene. You're listening to Wastelands, and with me, as always, is the mighty Marco Mark.
Adam Obscene. Hey,
Hey,
good to be here. Good to be with you.
mate.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Happy Sunday. This is episode 99, listeners, and Marco. So we thought we'd do something a little bit different and talk about a film which is sort of both close to our hearts and hit a significant milestone in an anniversary. But let's not break formula. I'll play the trailer.
In this quiet neighborhood, on this tranquil street, a mystery is unfolding. And an adventure is beginning. Steven Spielberg's masterpiece. Theaters everywhere.
What's he doing? E.T. phone home. E.T. phone home.
E.T. phones home.
With enhanced
E.T. visual effects.
So
So that was actually the
enhanced
2000.
ET.
That was the 2002 cinematic release. 2002, dude, was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because that 20 years ago was the 20-year anniversary of E.T. So guess what this year makes it?
Holy smokes.
40 years since the cinematic worldwide release of E.T. The
With
Extra
enhanced
Terrestrial.
ET.
Isn't that like mind-bogglingly like bizarre?
Yeah. We're giving up our age a little bit now, aren't we? But it's all good. We're not ageist. Neither are the listeners, I think. It was 1982. Wow. Did you see it at the cinema when it came out? Are you an OG watcher?
Mate, I saw it at the drive-in.
Oh, tell me. Okay. Tell us about that.
Before we
come on.
dive straight in, let's just like give the millennials a chance to catch up on what the fuck ET is about.
Oh, they already know.
They
but
know.
all right,
If you
all
don't know, look, this is the seminal Steven Spielberg film written by Melissa Matheson back in 1982, as we mentioned. It's classified as an adventurous family sci-fi. A troubled child summons the courage to help a friendly alien escape from Earth to return to his home planet. It's got lots of notables in it. Drew Barrymore as a tiny little wee. It's got basically Dee Wallace, who is the mum in E.T. And funny, just as a bit of Wastelands radio show Easter egg loop around, Dee Wallace has been in a couple of our favourite films that we've spoken to in the past. She was in Critters. She was also in Cujo, and she was in The Howling. And
awesome.
So she's totally got some Wastelands credentials. It's
Was
also
she a lingerie kickboxer?
no, she wasn't. We're still out there. Thomas Howell, the young fella from The Hitcher, was in this movie as Tyler. And then you've got Henry Thomas as Elliot, and a bunch of other sort of like people who went on and did different things, but. That's really the gist of it. How good is that for a gloss over? And some other people that might have done some other things.
Yeah, no, that's great. There was a couple of things I didn't know in there. I didn't know. Was it C.T. Wallace? Is he the Hitcher in the Hitcher?
Yeah. So C.T.
That's great.
C.T. Howell, who played the young fella who picked up Ruger.
So C.T. was in E.T.
Yes, C.T. was in E.T. So basically, back to loop around, like back to the 7.92, by the way, is the rating on IMDb. Sorry, I got distracted by looking at stuff on my computer screen. Where did I first see it? Where did I
you were
first
drifting.
see it?
You were drifting, ads.
I was drifting. So sorry, you got to forgive me. I'm a little bit hazy. I haven't got the spicy. I've just got the lurgy. So
yeah. It's not COVID, people, but it's
still COVID clear. Us two, the dynamic duo. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you broadcast from a tiny atoll in the middle of the Pacific Ocean.
Pretty susceptible to catching anything out here,
except for COVID. So I saw it at a drive-in. We had in the little town, backwater town that I grew up in regional Victoria back in the 80s. We had a drive-in. I think I've mentioned in previous episodes, it was only ever open in summer because in winter it was too foggy, so you couldn't see the screen. And they used to do lots of awesome summertime double features. And I think in the summer of 1983, which was like the season after the summer season in America, they had E.T. Marco, I've got here, just so you can see, listeners won't be able to partake in this, but this is the original poster from the drive-in cinema I actually went and saw. It's like,
how did you get that? How do you get that?
Well, when you live in a small town, everybody knows everyone, right? So my dad just went and got it.
Ha! That's incredible, mate. I hope that makes its way onto our social media so listeners can have a look at that, because that's a beauty.
It's well dog-eared, ripped and torn, exactly the way we love our ephemera.
Mate, that's great. That should be in a frame.
Yeah, it will be one day. Watch this. So I just threw it over my back.
Oh no! Don't show the collectors.
So just that was my little bite that I wanted to share with you, is that, saw it at the cinema. There's not a lot to say except for the fact that I think it was in the back of an FJ Holden panel van, the classic dad's panel beater wagon, and he'd always throw a mattress in the back, and we'd just watch what was it going, and E.T. was one of them. I got to say, with that trailer, back in the 80s, the voiceovers were done by those voiceover actors that did the trailers. It didn't matter if it was The Hitcher or E.T. or if it was The Care Bears Love Care a Lot. How menacing did that kick off with? Like if you did not know that was E.T., it sounded like the start of a horror movie, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
Beware.
Yeah, that guy has a... Yeah.
He's
a strong voice. He was in the right job for sure.
We'll do a deep dive one day and actually figure out who that guy actually is, because he needs an episode just all in general.
Oh yeah,
about
we can call it a deep voice deep dive.
Oh, deep voice deep dive. So when did you see it?
I saw it when it came out as well. In the cinema on the Sunshine Coast, Caloundra Cinema, and it was great. Absolutely, so good. It's become one of those comfort movies, and I think this must be a comfort movie for so many people. I mean, it must transgress generations and not just be sort of, in the realm of us old guys, but it's a movie that's easy to love for people of all ages. I think
it's interesting because one of the things that got us talking about this movie was that they've just released a whole heap of merch in the department stores around ET, and I was telling you this the other day that I'd picked up my little 2-year-old a pajama 2-set and ET t-shirt.
Sure.
All in the very awesome sort of 80s style. And it's funny because you go, well, what does a 2-year-old know about ET? But the connection to this is a couple of months ago at a garage sale, I picked up a genuine 1983 pull string ET toy that you pull the string. It's ET phone, and gave it to her, and straight up she loved it. And I said, it's ET, and that she just took it straight at ET. So every time she sees it, she says ET. I got this T-shirt, so check this out, and she just went ET. I went, she hasn't even seen the movie yet. But we're building to that. By the time she gets to watch that movie, she will have a fully fledged, conditioned love of the Extra Terrestrial. And just just for you, and this will also go up on Instas. There he is. That's the.
Okay.
So that's
great.
So
mate.
that's the toy that that just sits in her bedroom, and she loves it. It's funny because the pull string doesn't really work very well. I'll see if the mic can pick it up. Yeah, that didn't work. But anyway, so.
That's great. For an 80s toy, that's awesome.
It's interesting though. Can we just talk a little bit? Like, E.T.'s great; it's an awesome movie, and we all, everyone knows. But the toy part of it is something that I'm a little bit intrigued by, because big budget movies at the time. So Star Wars had massive toy lines. There was He-Man and Master of the Universe was making big guns on the toy circuit. So Transformers, Care Bears, all that sort of in its day. E.T. though, for a movie which was so massive, its toys. I remember at the time it was a bit janky, right? There wasn't really like.
There were some toys, but it wasn't as ubiquitous as the other franchises that you mentioned. Like, even I remember the Gremlins toys were huge, but the E.T. ones not so much. I remember a lot of plush E.T.s around, because I think he was a little bit more cuddly and a little bit gentler looking.
And I think the other thing too is, like, there was an ET show bag that went to American losses might not get this, but in Australia we have these like regional shows where they show like cattle and sheep, and there's where it's like you'd probably call them your carnivals or fairs, and we'd have like show bag pavilions and carnivals, and a show bag is like this sample bag which would be a merch of the time. So you might get a Star Wars bag or a Dracula horror bag or a joke bag, and there was an ET one. I got an ET bag, and it had like a ET mask in it, a big ET badge. I've still got that stuff around here somewhere. I couldn't dig it out because it was a little bit too deep in Studio Obscenito. And a little plushie, which is cool. But it led me to think, when I did a bit of a dive, I think there's a very distinct reason why there wasn't much ET merch.
Because he looks like a scrotum?
Because he looks like a fucking scrotum. Like, literally. Like, if you could get a plush and it looks fine, you could get but as soon as you start to take the neck and the head, like, I've got a ET Pez dispenser. It literally looks like a dick dispensing Pez. Like, it's difficult sculpt. The alien from the movie, I guess, didn't really translate very well to toys.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if there were cheap knockoffs going around, there would have been some, inappropriate molds going on out there.
Which leads me to my next example, Marco, which I'll do a find of. And this is the thing: is that generally, I think this stuff came out of, like you said, knockoffs or from non-English speaking territories. There was this particular notorious ET toy. And this one, mate, I'm not sure if you've seen this one, but it is actually a slip-on ET finger that you put over your finger, and it's elongated and it's brown and it's wrinkly and has a bulbousy end, and it just is the most hilarious looking thing in the world.
Man, I can't wait to get on YouTube later and look up the retro toy ads for that.
ET finger.
Because
in theory that makes sense, right? It's a very iconic part of the movie. E.T. has a very long finger. Kids are going to want to have that finger. Unfortunately, like it said, it didn't manifest itself into age-appropriate toy design.
Sure. And look, to be honest with you, man, like thinking about how wrong its look could have gone and did go, this is the first time I really thought about it. When you're a kid, when you're like, at that time, you're not thinking, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. It looks a bit phallic. It's E.T.
I think that this shows that's why the Lawsoners love you. You are so innocent and amazing, because as a child, when E.T.'s neck used to extend and subtract, I might have just been a deviant of a child, but I used to snigger every time at that. It just looked like a wrinkly foreskin.
Oh no.
Maybe not early on, maybe later
later on,
when it was rewatched on TV or something.
Oh, absolutely. Oh no, it's ruined it for me. Oh man,
Nothing will ever ruin ET for you, except for these beauties, Marco. I'm going to tell you the top 3 ET knockoffs of all time in my book, because we've always got to lower the standard. We've spoken about an A1 Steven Spielberg movie, of how amazing it is and how it's life transformational. We've talked about the dirty phallus toys. Now I'm going to give you the top 3 knockoffs that I think are hilarious. Coming in at number 1, on a 1.7 IMDb rating out of 10 is Nuki from 1987, where an alien called Nuki searches for his brother Miko, who's been captured by the US government.
Okay, well, that sounds good. The great thing about that is now we don't have to watch the movie. I've got the gist of that.
Yeah, just think low rate ET. Mac and Me, 1988. I love Mac and Me. It's a very kind-hearted film, and it's very fun. Again, an alien trying to escape the from NASA is befriended by a wheelchair-bound boy. This one takes the ET stuff up a next notch, because it's not just the alien. He crash lands on Earth and is separated from his family. And they do this weird whistling thing. It's great. So Mac and Me, 1988.
Like Negan's group.
Yeah, the Whistlers, yeah. Oh, that probably just clipped out the mics. Apologies for that. 3.3 star rating. Now, the next one. Brace yourselves. This is a Turkish entry into the ET Knockoff Hall of Fame. Funnily enough, though, this rates higher than Nuki and only 0.1 lower than Mac and Me, and it's Hermoti. Hermoti is a 1987, so it came out at the same time, well, the year before Mac and Me, a 1987 comedy fantasy about a homosexual alien who is lost in 1970s Turkey.
What?
I know. And the little image that is here on the screen is 2 people sitting on a couch next to Hermoti, and it's like Hermoti looks like if someone who has never seen ET has described ET to someone who has never seen ET to design it.
Oh my God. And then put him in disco era 70s Turkey. Yeah. That's great. Bazooki tea.
So that's
oh my God, I don't want to see that.
You
Sounds
like seeing that.
Oh man, I'm going to hit up TLC on MySpace and see if they can help me.
See if you could get some licensing permission, because I think
man, I look so good in parachute pants and a crop top. You wouldn't believe it, man.
I know. I've got a photo of it on my wall. So Marco, that's ET. Lots of stuff. Lots of stuff out in the world of ET. You'll probably see in the next wee bit, probably a bit more stuff come out. But 40 years is like an amazing triumph for a film.
Yeah,
and
congratulations, ET.
Couple of things.
Even though creating this podcast has ruined it for me, congratulations, ET.
Oh, so that's what I do, isn't it? I just ruin shit for you, don't
TLC, come and help me.
ET is amazing, and it will always have a special part in my heart. But I do, like I said, I enjoy in pop culture. And this is probably like the Wastelands wheelhouse is just the weird rabbit holes and sideways tendrils of just stuff that just pops up. It's funny. Like what?
Yes.
Something will be seminal and catalytic, and then someone out there will go, yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to nick it.
yeah, I'm going to nick it and turn it into something so bad. So B grade that in years to come, I don't know, maybe about 40 years, there'll be a guy in Australia out there that'll fucking podcast about it, whatever a podcast is.
It's true, because they wouldn't have even, they'll be talking about it. So yeah, happy birthday, ET. You were 40 on June the 11th this year.
Nice.
And that's amazing. And if you ever get a chance to go to the States, if you're in the States, if you ever get a chance to go to Universal Studios, they still have the original animatronic ET puppet in one of their displays in there, which is I loved when I went and saw at Universal Studios. It was very fun, and then you can still get some Universal ET tat there as well. So
nice.
Yeah. Stuff
Happy
that doesn't
birthday,
look like
ET.
scrotums.
Sorry?
Stuff that doesn't look like scrotums.
Oh, I know. Still a beloved movie. Happy birthday, E.T. And there we go.
Marco, listeners, if they choose to berate us on ruining their childhood memories, what's the best way for them to get in contact with us?
Social media.
Social media.
On Instagram. We're on a bloody TikTok now. What else are we on? Facebook.
I like how
Twitter.
I like how you've renamed TikTok bloody TikTok. I think that's
bloody.
Every time, listen, listeners, every time that Marco says TikTok, it's bloody TikTok.
Bloody TikTok.
So
man.
you can search at Wastelands Radio Show on all those mofos. You can chuck us a message through there. On Twitter, we couldn't get the full extent of the handle, so it's just Wastelands RS. And you can send us an email at wastelandsradioshow@gmail.com. And you can go to the website, which is wastelands.com.au.
Nice. Well, mate, that's awesome.
Mate, this is episode 99.
Well, there we go.
Our next episode will be the big 100, and we've got a show in store for the listeners.
Absolutely. We'll be ruining something else next episode.
Celebrating. We celebrate our wastelandiness by ruining things.
Oh no! Just joking.
So, listeners, make sure you tune in for that. I hope you like how we're going. The 100th episode will officially end season 3 and be the reboot of season 4 of Wastelands Radio Show. They said we'd never do it, and here we are. Marco.
Yes, so.
Is there anything more you'd like to add?
Oh, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him. And this is the bit where I insert the outro. It's over. It's finished.
Wastelands.
Other words.
It's over!
Yeah.
It's finished!